Hi everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie, and today we're going to talk about stamp storage. I actually had a subscriber ask about my stamp storage and if I could do an updated version of what I'm currently doing. And to be honest, I haven't changed much in the 2 years since I originally posted how I stored my stamps. So we're just going to do a quick overview and we'll go from there. So I store all of my stamps in these fridge bins. I have the double-sided ones. They fit in the Kallax unit perfectly. I have two 8-cube units, and that is all I have allotted for stamps. I am not completely full, but I'm fast approaching, and as a result I've really scaled back on purchasing stamps in the last 6 months. I have tons that I haven't used, so it's really important for me to work on that rather than buy even more. But that being said, you know, something cute comes out, I may not be able to resist, and who knows, there may be a stamp purge in my future. So you'll notice here, this is a very typical bin. I've got different sizes of packaging. If you are more particular about uniformity, then you would obviously want to pick a method that's going to accommodate the majority of your collection. In my case, I go by size. So I have these DVD pockets that I store small stamp sets in, and I just purchased those on Amazon. And then mid-size or regular size stamp sets, I think these are about 4x6, I store in the Avery Elle pockets, or recently I have found some on Amazon that are a little bit more cost-effective that seem to work just as well. Then there are also the larger stamp pockets for the larger sets. MFT does a lot of these taller ones, so I use that as well. And then left over from my Stampin' Up! Days when I was a demonstrator, I have a ton of the DVD cases with the stamp sets in them. Now you'll notice in this particular one I've actually also included some other stamps just to max out, because really for this stamp set there was only 3 stamps, so it seems a waste. Now you're gonna wonder what those are. They were actually previously wood-mounted stamps that I took apart and turned them into cling mount. And all I did was I basically heated up the rubber stamp and the block a little bit, just enough to get the glue to release, peeled off the red rubber. I actually also peeled off the sticker and affixed it to the sticky side of the red rubber because I tried to keep the foam wherever possible. And then I just applied 2-way glue on here so that it is tacky, and that allows it to cling or stick to a block and it doesn't leave any residue or anything behind. I do label all my pockets with the names of the sets. I don't typically put the name of the manufacturer on there. That's not so critical for me. I'm not on a design team or anything like that, so I don't really need to worry about that kind of thing. But if I do need that information, I do have it stored in the computer with my inventory. I also have a numbering system. I started this, I probably, well, I don't know. Part of me says I should have just gone alphabetical within my categories. That would have been easier. But then when you combine something like this, how do you decide where it goes? So when you combine multiple sets in a package is what I'm talking about. So I just have a numbering system. Each type of storage has a designation. So for instance, this is RD2. R stands for red. It's in the red bin. D stands for basically DVD case, and then this is number 2, and so it's really easy for me to put these back in. For the Avery Elle pockets, I called this one large. How was I to know that there was going to be 2 more sizes larger than this at some point? But anyways, that's what I called it. So red for the red bin, L for the large pocket, and then number 1. The DVD pockets are an S, and the taller ones are XL, and there are even bigger ones that I call Jumbo or J. As far as categories go, I mainly store my stamps by category because, again, I tend to think more along the lines of what I need by item as opposed to by manufacturer. So for instance, if I'm making a card, I will say to myself, oh, this would be a great card to use a floral on it, so I will go to my floral section. And I basically have color coded the different sections. The colors don't really mean anything per se, they're just what I picked. So I have 2 brown containers that are all sentiments and alphabets. And then I have green, which contains animals and nature. I separate the animals out from nature. Also, I separate flowers out from nature. Just because I have so many of those, it's kind of like a subcategory. The flowers are in the pink bin, along with a category called vintage. I have an orange, which is miscellaneous basically. If it doesn't fit in any of the other categories, that's where it's going to go. I have a blue bin that stores kids, travel, shapes, backgrounds, and borders, and red is for Christmas. And the final bin color I have is purple, which is kind of all my scrapbooking type of products. So it would have a lot of stamps that I would use for layouts and project life and that sort of thing. And then I have one larger bin, so not all the stamps, like I said before, some of them are larger, not all of them fit in half of this, so I do have a larger fridge bin that stores those larger stamps in there. And that is basically what I do with my stamps. Now, I do have a video up that talks about my online inventory of all of these. It's a pretty convoluted system. I have tweaked it a little bit to make it less convoluted, but in a nutshell, what I do is when I purchase a stamp set, I go online, I find the image, a picture of that stamp set, I copy it and paste it or store it in a directory on my computer. I will name it stamp, comma, name, dash, manufacturer, or for other categories in my stash, I have stencil, comma, name, dash, manufacturer. That's kind of my naming convention. And then I use Adobe Photoshop Elements, the organizer. I already used it for my photos, so it just made sense to use it for my stamp inventory. And once I bring that into my album within that box or within that tool, I then can add tags on them. So I will go through a stamp set like this and I will add tags like snowman, hugs and kisses, sentiments, Christmas, anything that I think this stamp set would be used for based on how I would use it. Not based on how anybody else would, but just on my own sense of if I look at the stamp set, what would I use it for? And that way, when I need some inspiration and I want to see all the stamps that have snowmen on them, I can just click on that one tag. I can see everything really quickly, visually, with all the pictures. And from there, I can click on it on the particular image and it will tell me that this is the location. And that is basically it, my friends. If you have any questions about how I store my stamps or why I store them, please let me know and I will try and explain a little bit more. And until next time, happy crafting and happy organizing.